Kingslayer.
Kingslayer!
I give you the Kingslayer.
Kingslayer.
Kingslayer!
For a man without honor.
The Kingslayer!
Jaime. My name's Jaime.
For nearly 2 decades, Jaime Lannister has worn that name like a scar, a curse he can never escape. This is the story of a man whose greatest shame was his greatest triumph, and whose journey from arrogance to redemption reveals something profound about honor, identity, and what it truly means to do the right thing when no one will ever know. Jaime Lannister had everything a knight could dream of: born beautiful, skilled beyond measure, knighted at 15 by Sir Arthur Dayne, and chosen for the King's Guard, one of the youngest ever granted that honor. He was the Golden Lion of Lannister, the most promising swordsman of his generation. And then, in one moment, he destroyed it all. When Robert Baratheon's rebellion reached King's Landing, Jaime Lannister drew his sword and killed the king he had sworn to protect. Aerys II Targaryen, the Mad King, died by the blade of his own King's Guard. And when Ned Stark walked into the throne room and found Jaime sitting on the Iron Throne, sword across his lap, the verdict was written: Oathbreaker, Kingslayer, a man without honor. From that day forward, Jaime wore the title like a chain. Everywhere he went, the whispers followed. Every introduction, every negotiation, every moment of his life was defined by that single act. But the Honorable Ned Stark never asked him why. No one truly cared to understand why, because in Westeros, a name becomes a verdict, and once it's spoken, the truth is buried beneath it. So what do you do when the world refuses to see your truth? You stop trying to prove it. You lean into the lie. And sometimes, you don't just lean into it, you become it. That's the Jaime we meet at the beginning of the story. Arrogant, careless, cruel. A man who smiles while doing terrible things. But that arrogance, it's not confidence. It's armor. Because when you've already been judged, when your name is already ruined, there's a strange kind of freedom in becoming exactly what people expect. No disappointment, no vulnerability, no more explaining. But reputation wasn't Jaime's only prison. There was something deeper, something more fundamental. Jaime Lannister's entire identity was built on one thing: his sword hand. He was one of the greatest swordsmen alive. That's who he was. That's all he was. And then, Locke took it from him. When Jaime loses his hand, he doesn't just lose a limb. He loses himself. Everything that made him Jaime Lannister, the confidence, the arrogance, the superiority, it was all tied to that sword. And now, it's gone. This is where everything begins to break. And only after that, in a bath at Harrenhal, broken, fevered, stripped of everything he once was, Jaime Lannister finally tells someone the truth. Aerys didn't just go mad, he went apocalyptic. The Mad King had planted wildfire beneath the city, the Sept of Baelor, the Red Keep, the streets of King's Landing, enough to burn hundreds of thousands of people alive. And in those final moments, as the city fell, he gave the order,
Burn them all! Burn them all!
And even commanded Jaime to bring him his father's head. Jaime Lannister had a choice: keep his oath and let the city burn, or break his oath and save it. He chose the city. He killed the pyromancer. He killed the king. And he made sure no one could ever give that order again. Jaime Lannister saved a city that day, and not a single person thanked him for it, because he never told anyone who mattered. He wore the shame, accepted the scorn, and kept silent. Why? Because honor, real honor, isn't about glory. It's about doing what's right, even when no one will ever know, even when the only reward is judgment. Jaime Lannister understood something most people never learn. Sometimes, the most honorable thing you can do is let the world think you're dishonorable. But here's the contradiction. A man capable of saving a city can still be capable of destroying lives.
Everything I did for my house and my family. I'd do it all again.
Jaime's love for Cersei,
I love Cersei.
is the most complicated part of his story, because it's both the source of his worst actions and the chain that keeps him bound to who he used to be. He pushed Bran Stark out of a window for her.
The things I do for love.
He even killed his own cousin trying to get back to her.
I murdered people so I could be here with you.
For Cersei, Jaime became the villain everyone already believed him to be. His love made him selfish, reckless, dangerous, and yet, that same man was the only one who ever truly stood by his brother. When the world mocked Tyrion, Jaime didn't. He protected him, respected him, treated him like family when no one else did.
If it weren't for you, I never would have survived my childhood. You were the only one who didn't treat me like a monster.
But then, there's Brienne. Brienne saw something else. Not the Kingslayer, not the reputation. She saw the man beneath it. The man who kept his word. The man who chose honor, even when it cost him everything. She saw who he could be. And for the first time, Jaime Lannister began to see it too. When he gives her Oathkeeper and sends her to find Sansa Stark, he isn't chasing glory. He's keeping a promise. And when Jaime knights Brienne at Winterfell, it's more than a ceremony. It's recognition, not just of her honor, but of the man he's trying to become. But here's the tragedy. In the show, Jaime rides back to Cersei, choosing love over honor, choosing the woman who made him a monster over the one who saw him as a man. And whether that's failure or the most honest portrayal of how hard it is to escape who you love, that's the question the story leaves us with. In the books, his story isn't finished, but the question remains the same. Can someone truly change, or are we always pulled back to who we were? So what does Jaime Lannister teach us? First, that judgment without understanding is cruelty. People saw the act and assumed they knew the man, and he lived under that weight for decades. How many people in your life carry a story you never bothered to understand? Second, that identity is fragile. Jaime built his entire sense of self on being one of the greatest swordsmen alive, and when that was taken from him, he had to discover who he was without it. Who are you when you lose the thing that defines you? Third, that redemption isn't a straight line. It's not one choice. It's a constant battle between who you were and who you're trying to become. And sometimes, love pulls you backward. And finally, that honor and reputation are not the same thing. Jaime Lannister saved a city and was called a villain. He kept vows no one knew about and was called an oathbreaker. Real honor doesn't need an audience. It exists in the dark, where no one is watching. The Kingslayer, the oathbreaker, the man without honor. But look closer. Look past the name, past the armor, past the story people chose to believe, and you'll find something else. A man who kept the most important oath anyone can make. The oath to protect the innocent, even when it cost him everything. Jaime Lannister is the most misunderstood man in Westeros, because he understood something the world never did, that sometimes being called dishonorable is the price you pay for actually being honorable. He's the Oathkeeper, disguised as the Oathbreaker, the hero, remembered as a villain, the knight who saved a kingdom and was never thanked for it. And maybe that's the most honorable thing of all.